Jeff Epstein was murdered in federal lockup in Manhattan in the secure unit. I think there were only 16 men on the unit, and I think only 14 there that night. I may have that slightly wrong, but it's very small, and it's the most secure federal lockup in the United States, and he got murdered in it. So that raises all kinds of obvious questions, like who has the power to do that?
That was Tucker Carlson speaking to Theo about Jeffrey Epstein. He goes off on this fiery rant saying, who has the power to do that? Who was this guy? How much influence did he have? And how did he just randomly have this suicide happen? Where are the security guards in the most secure location, most secure prison in the world, really? And this happens. Who has the power? Who has the authority? How did this mishap just happen? He goes off on this rant, and it's really incredible. You got to see the entire clip. We're going to dive into it, but I'm Jared Wright. This is The Right Wing, and I bring you these clips every single day. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Make sure you hit the buttons down below, the like, the subscribe, all the buttons, the notifications, so you can see these every single day when I bring them out. I'm rolling them out to make it easy for you to see what's going on in the world. How can you make a difference? How can you know? You got to understand the things first. If you want to make a difference in the world, you got to understand what's happening in the world. But let's just dive into the rest of this clip.
Epstein was murdered in prison, okay? I know a lot about it. I'm not just throwing that out there. Epstein was murdered in prison.
Well, they put him with a cellmate that was kind of a crazy, like, former police officer, right?
Yeah, a former police officer killed a number of drug dealers. I'm not saying that guy did it, but I'm saying, well, I asked Bureau of Prisons because I learned all this stuff about it because I know Epstein's brother, Mark, well. And I never expected to go down this rabbit hole at all. The guy called me like a week after his brother was killed.
Mark did?
Yeah. And so, yeah, I was literally sitting in my backyard in Maine, and he called me, and I don't know how he got my cell. And it ended up this years-long thing. It's not interesting, and I won't bore you with it, but the bottom line is Jeff Epstein was murdered in federal lockup in Manhattan in the secure unit. I think there were only 16 men on the unit, and I think only 14 there that night. I may have that slightly wrong, but it's very small, and it's the most secure federal lockup in the United States, and he got murdered in it. So that raises all kinds of obvious questions, like who has the power to do that? So that's a big deal. And then the attorney general at the time helped cover it up. And I know him. And
did you hear that? He just said he knows the attorney general. He knows that the attorney general helped cover this whole thing up. Helped basically usher in this whole thing where Epstein did not do this to himself. It was carried out by somebody else. And the AG, the attorney general, let it happen, covered it up, swept it under the rug, and lied to us. The government lied to us. Big surprise, guys. Here's more proof. The government doesn't tell you the truth. They give you a bunch of lies. They tell you what you want to hear. They tell you what they want you to think. And people believe it still? This has been going on for decades, if not centuries, if we're being honest. And we just sit back and we just believe it. We twiddle our thumbs. Oh, would you look at that? No, this is terrible what is happening. And we just believe it. We just dive into it. Are you kidding me? He just said, they lied to you. So you better not think that they're telling you the truth all the time. You better not think that they're just letting you, live in a truthful world. No, they skew the truth. They tell you what they want you to hear. Our job is to not believe it and to push back, to make the government actually work for us and tell us the truth. But we don't. Let's just keep watching.
Bill Barr. So I say that, and he's like, oh, I'm going to sue you. And I said, go ahead and sue me. I hope you will. And what's the answer? Like, why don't you answer? He never will. Well, it turns out, and this does make you crazy, that his father, Donald Barr, is the guy who started Epstein's career, who both gave him his first job, for which he was not qualified, and then got him his second job at Bear Stearns, for which he was definitely unqualified. What is that? A former CIA guy, OSS guy. But anyway, the point is that question of how an American citizen, kid toucher or not, could get murdered in federal lockup in our biggest city. Like, holy shit, that should scare everybody. And then the Attorney General of the United States is covering it up. He admitted, this is the Attorney General, when Epstein was murdered, said, I told everyone around me, we need to make sure the country believes this was a suicide. It's like, you haven't even done a freaking investigation. You're the chief law enforcement officer, and you're telling me the outcome before you even look into it?
How do you know that?
Because he admitted it in his autobiography. And so I'm not guessing at any of this stuff, okay? So I call Bureau of Prisons and I'm like, I want the names of the inmates who are serving on this block, because clearly nobody got in or out of the block. It's
right. Well, it also was a question to our prison system. It's like, how would you not know? Like, obviously, this is the guy you have to protect.
They did it on purpose, and he was murdered clearly by another inmate. And there is so much. I mean, I did like an hour on this. Anyone interested can look it up, but I'm not a conspiracy nut at all. I've been a journalist my whole life. I've often been wrong, but I've always been attentive to what I believe the facts to be. I think it really matters whether you're accurate, and I've tried to be. So it was not a perfect storm of screw-ups. They never did the investigation into how this guy died. They redressed him in clothes that he wasn't wearing when he died for pictures in the hospital infirmary. All the records of what happened to his body are gone. And critically, we cannot get, and I tried directly by calling the Attorney General's office, I want a list of the names of the inmates. It's publicly available. They're convicted felons, dude. Yeah. This is not secret information. It's not national security information. Why can't you tell me that? They allowed him to be murdered in federal lockup. So leave all the pedo island stuff out of it. And just ask yourself, how can we continue to live in a country where a high-profile inmate can be murdered in our prison system by who's powerful enough to do that?
Right.
And so these are not only legitimate questions, they're essential questions. And like, we're mad at the people asking them.
We're mad at the people asking these questions. Why are we upset about that? Tucker nails it. Honestly, I've said it before. I don't fully trust Tucker, but he says a lot of the right things and he asks a lot of the right questions. Why can we not be upset? Why has this entire Epstein thing been swept under the rug? Everyone knows that he did not kill himself, but nobody asks any more questions anymore. It's like, oh, who knows? Who knows what happened? Oh, well, so bad. So be it. Let's move on to the next thing. It's like it doesn't excite people anymore because it's not fresh and new, and so they just don't care. I care. This is a major case. This was somebody running a child sex trafficking ring. I want to know who killed him because we should probably know that information, right? We should probably understand who are the people that did not want this guy to stay alive. That might give us a little bit of a lead into who was criminalized within his records. But it's swept under the rug. It's not talked about anymore. Theo and Tucker talked about it a good bit, but it doesn't really matter. Nobody cares anymore. We want to move on to the next thing. We want to move on to the next conspiracy theory. I'm not. I'm hung up on the real stuff like this, the major stuff, because it's important. It plays a role in our lives and who our leaders are and whether or not they were a part of this. We deserve to know. You deserve to know, which is why I bring you these clips all the time. I'm Jared Wright. This is The Right Wing. Like I said before, hit the buttons down below. Follow along with me as we dive into clips like these, into religion, into politics, into all of the important things that you need to know about, that you need to understand. I make it easy for you. Hope you follow along, and I hope you have a great day.